It was when two teammates started arguing and exchanging insults inside the locker room, almost getting into a physical fight before being restrained by other players. Another golfer preferred to change clothes in the parking lot so as not to meet his teammates in the club's locker room. There is such a great rivalry between some golfers that it is very common for strong discussions and insults to occur either in the locker room or on social media. Let's detail everything for you right now. Watch the video to the end so as not to miss any details. If you like videos like this and want to be the first to receive the latest golf news, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button just below this video. And to start our list of the greatest rivalries in golf history, we're going to talk about two well-known tour athletes, Vijay Singh and Phil Mickelson. When you started watching this video, I believe you already knew we were going to talk about Vijay Singh because he has been involved in fights with practically all players in recent years. The main confusion that Vijay got involved with was with Phil Mickelson while competing in the 2005 Masters. That year Singh ended up leaving marks of his footwear near hole 12 and officials had to call his attention. Of course Mickelson wouldn't let that go unnoticed. When he entered the locker room, he heard Vijay Singh talking about shoe marks with his golf teammates and couldn't contain himself. You might even imagine that there was a calm conversation between two great athletes, but what happened was a big argument that almost ended up in a physical fight. At the time, the New York Post revealed that what happened was a heated argument that almost ended in aggression. We can consider that the way it was reported by the New York Post is just a gentle way of saying that Vijay Singh and Phil Mickelson almost physically assaulted each other and many offensive words were said in the locker rooms. During the discussion, Phil Mickelson asked that he and Vijay go outside the locker room to resolve the problem, but Vijay did not accept and they were restrained by their teammates. Even though at that moment the situation was under control, the problems between Mickelson and Vijay seem like they will never end. To this day, the two players cannot even exchange glances. But if you think that only Vijay and Mickelson fought during the Masters, you are mistaken. Lee Trevino, one of the greatest golfers of the 70s, 80s and 90s, also had problems during the Masters. He ended up refusing to play Augusta National in 1970, 1971, and 1974, which caused great astonishment among golf fans. At the time, Trevino said he would not participate in the tournament because he did not perform well on the field, but he did not know that soon everyone would know the truth that was confirmed by Lee himself. He refused to participate in the tournament in these 3 years because he did not agree with Cliff Roberts, co-founder of the club. Lee Trevino and Cliff Roberts had a big disagreement the first time they met at Augusta National, and since that day they have never been able to resolve their differences. The big sports press of the time commented that Trevino was taking the discussion too seriously when he refused to participate in the tournament for 3 years. Trevino never hid that he didn't like much about Augusta's environment, from its great restrictions to snobbery. On one occasion he decided that he would change clothes in his own parking lot so as not to have to talk to people at the club. After this period away from Augusta, Trevino returned but had no outstanding results, even though he had won several other majors. Now think of a rivalry that reaches the point where you can't mark a hole during a game. That's what happens between Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth. The problems between the two began at the 2014 Ryder Cup, where they dominated the tournament together. Later, in 2016 and 2017, they repeated their excellent performance. But in 2018 everything began to change and the pair ended up separating. This year Patrick Reed was not accepted for Relief Bay Hill, and he did not accept this, saying that he would be with Jordan Spieth. Soon after, upon learning of the situation, golf fans began to cite that some players were being favored. At the 2018 Ryder Cup, Patrick Reed played with Tiger Woods and Spieth with Justin Thomas. The pair formed by Woods and Reed ended up losing their games while Spieth and Thomas shone. During the tournament, both Reed and Spieth tried to be as professional as possible. But in an interview with the New York Times, Reed did not hide his discontent. He cited that Jordan Spieth did not want to play alongside him. Another great rivalry is between Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. It all started with a tweet where Koepka commented on the slowness of the game during the Dubai Desert Classic. The tweet did not mention Bryson's name at any time, but as he was being criticized for taking too long to hit his shots, everyone knew who Koepka was referring to. And it all got even more complicated for DeChambeau when other athletes also made harsh criticisms of his playing style. At no time did Koepka apologize to Bryson for his attitude, and that's why when they met at the Ryder Cup, golf fans were watching closely to see what their reaction would be. It was like watching a good episode of your favorite series, but now with two great world golf athletes as the main actors. They barely looked at each other and made faces at each other, further increasing the rivalry between them. If you've been following golf since the 2000s, you know that this was a period when we had the biggest problems between golf players in history. Tiger Woods can be considered one of the most problematic of all, especially after his problems with Sergio Garcia. The difference in personality between the athletes is clear, so it's understandable that they have problems sometimes. While Tiger preferred to stay more alone, Garcia was a player who liked to have an opinion on everything. Therefore, Sergio's statements often don't please many people. The rivalry between Tiger and the Spaniard began at the 1999 PGA Tour. That year in Medina, Garcia ended up beating Tiger and was, let's say, a little too happy with the victory over Woods and ended up exaggerating in his celebrations. Tiger was so furious with the situation that for 15 years in a row he defeated Garcia, even counting on several failures by the Spaniard in competitions. In 2013, Sergio made a comment that became known as fried chicken, referring to Tiger Woods during the European Tour Awards ceremony. The comment was criticized by everyone, but even so, Sergio Garcia did not apologize to Woods. Part of the sports press as well as some players understood the comment as offensive and declared that this was the only way Garcia found to try to gain an advantage over Woods since he could not beat Tiger in any competition since 1999. In 2013, both Tiger Woods and Sergio Garcia were asked if they thought about putting an end to the rivalry, and both declared that they were not concerned about resolving their differences. Therefore, we can say that their relationship may remain like this forever because neither of them is concerned about it. If Sergio Garcia ever apologizes to Tiger Woods someday, maybe their relationship can improve, but when it comes to Garcia, we know he's unlikely to apologize. There are people we can connect with almost instantly and others that, no matter how hard we try, we can't connect with. So you might think, I don't need him and he doesn't need me. That's exactly what happens between Paul Azinger and Seve Ballesteros, two players with completely different personalities. For a while they were close, but then they had many arguments for several consecutive years. At the 1998 US Open, Ballesteros applauded Azinger in the final round. The relationship between them was going well until the 1989 Ryder Cup, when Azinger did not let Ballesteros remove a scratched ball on the second green, even after Colleen Curtis Strange warned him to be careful in his individual match. After this event, their relationship only got worse, especially when Ballesteros contested a drop that Azinger took from the water on hole 18 in the same match. Azinger ended up winning the match and Seve Ballesteros never came to terms with it. Fate had it that the two players would meet during the opening of the 1991 Kiowa Ryder Cup. In that championship, the Spaniards accused the American team of using two different balls illegally, which left the Spanish team furious. This made it clear that golf has a great rivalry but ruined the image of the Ryder Cup. Meanwhile, golf fans enjoyed every minute of the fight, with thousands of comments and insults. If you liked the video, click the subscribe button right now to be the first to receive the latest golf news.